I was born in Libya in 1957, and I have lived through the first period of Libya post-independence, which was the Kingdom of Libya. And in 1969, we had a coup d'etat by Gaddafi and his group of officers. And I lived through under his rule, until 1983, when I moved to America to join my parents. Demonstration was supposed to start February 17th. That was the name of the movement, February 17th, okay, 2011. However, on February 15th, there was a routine, not a routine, I'm going to say, there was a regular demonstration in front of the court, demanding justice for the people he massacred, the prisoners that he massacred in 1996, the Muslim prison. And most of the prisoners were from the eastern part, okay, who died, most. I don't know exactly the percentage. And so there is this lonely character, lawyer, who I think who had a brother who died in the prison. And they just, the story goes that they just ordered all the prisoners in the prison courtyard, and they spent the afternoon shunning them and killing them, and they killed 1,270 people. 1,270 people. Only 20 or 30 people in the prison, of the prisoners, did not die because they were assigned to the kitchen. You know, pure luck. The kitchen, you know how prisoners use their own to do the labor. Okay, there's this lonely lawyer who kept, you know, the process going. You know, like the mothers of the disappeared in Argentina, like the woman in black in Israel, like in many other places. They kept the memory of, and he wanted to pursue justice. Okay, now that's February 15th. They started to do that with the women. And it was very interesting. You know, so he was there, and the regime, thinking that, you know, they have to quell it. They allowed him in the past to you know, stand up or something. I don't know the details, but this time they took him. Once that was known, and this was 2 days before the original or the name of the demonstration, 2 days before 15th, they arrested him. The women and the mothers and the sisters of the prisoners and all that, they came down and started demonstrating. And this is a very important fact and very important point to say, that it was a woman-initiated revolution in some ways, because they are the ones who took to the streets demanding that this lawyer be freed. And they came harsh against them, and I think a couple of people died or something like that. And of the 17 people, really, even the people I think who were not ready to do that, they said it's time to do the uprising, and that's what they did. You see, remember, it started also peaceful. I mean, it started peaceful, like Tunisia, like Egypt. It turned bloody, really, by unfortunate circumstances, mainly because Gaddafi, not only, he did not use tear gas or crowd control like the other places and stuff, or bullets, rubber bullets. He turned heavy equipment against the peaceful demonstrators, the opposition. Really heavy stuff. I mean, you know, the initial reports that and I've followed the initial reports that he used these, what they call there the Mimta, the Mudat Ta'irat, which are anti-aircraft, you know, ammunitions, you know, kind of heavy bullets, bigger caliber, against the people directly. Instead of going up in the air, they would shoot. And we saw pictures of people, you know, cut in half, holes in the chest of people. I mean, it's quite quite a scene. So Gaddafi did immediately use force. He thought that he needs to use force to quell it. He didn't want to take chances, given the facts that Tunisia and Mubarak experience. He wants to take Misrata, and the reason he wants to take Misrata is to show that really, he has the West, and this is probably a civil war. It is not a civil war. See, if he takes Misrata and also the rest of those pockets, they're more than pockets. Of Zintan and Yifrin and all these other places in the southern Tripolitania mountain, he would claim that this is a civil war. When you start discussing what's happening as a civil war, people will say hesitant, say, oh my God, this is a civil war, why are we entangle ourselves in this and that? This is not really a civil war. This is him still controlling a major resources, has a lot of money, using a lot of mercenaries to control half of the country. He was born in Sebha, in the desert, but his tribe comes from Sebha, a small tribe. Sirte is a psychological, if you lose Sirte, that's his hometown. That's a big deal. You lose their hometown. And also, he has been grooming Sirte as the alternate capital. There's a big Congress, quote-unquote, hall. There are, conference palaces, what we call here, convention halls for, his crazy, political discussion when he brings all these people, there is an element of, over the years, okay, the reality, I'm talking about the reality. Some element of, kind of a superiority and stuff, between people. It's not racism classical way. It is racism, it's, as I said, from Benghazi to Derna, there would have been some rivalries and all that stuff and all that. Libyans have always been, there was a big number of Libyans have always been dark-colored, and not only dark-colored, many of them have African features. In other words, because of, this location, there was intermarriages and flow of people coming and going and all that stuff. So the reality that there are a lot of African looking people who are Libyans, all right? There will be probably some issues regarding, intermarriage and this and that. And, this is not unique to Libya. It's, it's all places around the world that has this fault line, that has these, Mauritania has issues and stuff. It's not good. I'm not justifying it. I'm saying that these are not unique to Libya. These issues in Egypt, they have a lot of issues between the Nubian, the south, and the north. These are, probably over the years, they're probably innate, they're probably CCTV, there are many factors to it, okay? So it's not unique to Libya that there are some issues. The sad part is that Gaddafi, in his using African mercenaries or sub-Saharan African mercenaries, really crystallized and made this worse for generations to come. It's very bad, really. This is one of the things, and I wrote about it in my diary and stuff like that, that this is one of the major faults and consequences that we, the Libyans, or not we, the Libyans, would live with for a long time, is that the mercenaries that Gaddafi used happened to be sub-Saharan Africans. And in the psyche, that would be a long time to erase. Okay? I think if we are conscious about it, the Libyans are conscious about it, and address that, it will